Hey Q, nice to meet you. My name's Ed, and today I'm at the University of Dallas with a banner that says, "Why aren't you vegan yet?" You've been listening to a conversation I've just been having.
Yes.
And it seems like you have some questions or some ideas or thoughts. So let me know what you think.
So my first question for you is, what is your opinion on the native tribes such as the Inuit who live up in Alaska who don't have easy access to these fresh produce that you're wanting them to eat and instead rely on the animals they hunt?
Yeah, well, the issue of what we do to animals is an issue of necessity. This question of veganism comes down to the options and choices that we have. So there are obviously people in the world who don't have the availability or the access to be plant-based or to be vegan, who are maybe in tribes and in indigenous communities where they don't have the access that you and I have, where we live with the means that we have. And so as a consequence of that, the morality of that situation is very different because they hunt animals and eat animals out of necessity. But the point of me being here with the banner about why aren't you vegan yet is to draw on the fact that it's about you and I and the situation that we have and the means that we have, which is why it becomes a moral issue for us.
Just what the hell are they? Just put the bloke or woman on his or her tractor and let them go and feed the sheep or the cattle and take them to market. It's been doing fine for centuries.
But it's not doing fine, Nick, is it? Because we know that animal agriculture is one of the leading drivers of climate change and results in the death and exploitation of billions of animals. It's the opposite of doing fine. We're warned time and time again by the UN, by the leading environmental organisations around the world that we need to change that.
If I had it my way, it'd be like, I suppose, the Disney movie.
In Bambi, they kill the deer, and that's why everyone's upset, because someone kills the deer. And so you say it's like a Disney movie, but you're the bad guy in the Disney movie.
But that's the cruel part. No, I wouldn't have killed him.
You're the bad guy in the Disney movie.
No, okay, but you kill deer, that's the point, right? So
it's because I care about them that I do shoot them. It's because I care about them that I do shoot them. It's because I care about them that I do shoot them.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. And may God have mercy on your soul.
So do we have to eat animal products to live, or can we survive without them?
No, the amazing, compassionate God that you're referring to created us and gave us the option.
Right.
Can you eat plants or eat meat?
Right.
Eat of the tree, eat of the fruit of the... And we chose sin.
Okay, but why do you choose sin?
And this is the consequence of all of that.
But do you choose sin?
I don't.
So are you vegan?
But no.
So by your own logic, you do choose sin, right?
I bet
it's been scientifically proven that animals have different language, they speak to each other. Of course they do. So you're defying science?
How can you prove that, dude?
Because what noises, when they make noise, what are they doing?
Speak cow to me.
I can't because I'm English and I'm human.
You're saying cow speak cow.
I can't because I'm human. I can't speak Spanish or Italian. I can't speak Spanish or Italian either. So what's your point? Just because I don't speak their language doesn't mean they don't have a language.
Okay.
Because I can't speak Chinese, that means Chinese isn't a language?
I could say.
We actually go and visit the farms. We actually have an abattoir as well.
And how are they killed in the abattoir?
So they're killed in the abattoir. This is not a debate on killing methods, or this is a debate on environmentalism.
But can you tell me how they are killed in the abattoir?
Well, they're electrocuted, so they're knocked out cold, and then they...
But it doesn't always work, though, does it?
It does work.
It doesn't always work, though, does it?
In the first place, you don't have to do it.
We do it because, we believe that we should eat a varied diet, and meat is part of that diet. Well, that's your opinion, but
it's a fact as well. It's a fact that we don't need to eat these products, so to take the life of an animal unnecessary can never be high welfare.
God before every meal I eat, that He bless my food and forgive me for my sins.
But we shouldn't sin and then repent for our sins. Why not just not sin in the first place?
Well, we already did, because Adam did that.
Right, so why are you following the suit of Adam?
So that's in you.
No, but why are you sinning if you don't have to?
However, I do promote that there is wild meat available to be purchased online. So I suppose I do advocate to eat meat that's been responsibly and ethically sourced.
You used that word ethical earlier. Obviously, that's going to be where we have a huge disagreement, right? When we kill an animal, we don't show respect to them, and we take their life from them completely unnecessarily. And it has no purpose in either of our lives, and we don't have to. So by default, it can't be ethical to take life needlessly. But I think that what is natural, it's kind of a fallacy, because it doesn't translate to how we should live in today's world. There's a lot of things that we don't do that would be considered natural. So what is natural doesn't connotate what is moral or immoral. So I think that it's irrelevant whether or not eating meat would be considered something that we have naturally done throughout history, because we've changed so much as a species.
I think it's a shame that we've changed, though. I think we need to keep that connection to nature. You know, we do have the canines, we do have the incisors for ripping and tearing. I do often wonder if vegans are maybe the devolution of man. Like in 20 years, maybe we're going to turn back into like monkeys, or you know.
Well, we may be monkeys, but at least we won't have, you know, like coronary heart disease and such.
Yeah. They're produced on my own farm. Yeah. I see them when they're born. I look after them. I spend all day and all night looking after them. And so morally, I feel I'm justified. But what about morally? But why? People have eaten meat for millions of years. But we've also murdered and raped each other for millions of years. It doesn't make, just because we've done something for a long period of time doesn't make it moral today.
If I had my way in, you know, you have daydreams about, you know, we'd all go back to living in caves or living off the land or living off little log cabins. That's where I find my enjoyment.
But you'd be dead at 30.
Still being that.
In that life, you'd be dead at 30.
But hey, Adam, did you used to eat meat?
Absolutely. Yeah, I ate meat for almost 21 years of my life.
And did you love animals at the same time?
Yes, I said I did.
Did you? You even know if you loved them. I know.
Okay,
I love my. I love my dog. I actually tell my dogs, I'm like, I love you before I leave the house. So I know I love them.
You weren't born a deer, otherwise you got a bullet in the heart. All life, all animals deserve to live without human-inflicted exploitation.
If you lived in Australia, you would not feel the same about killing snakes. Trust me. Maybe this is a great reality TV series. We'll put loads of vegans and loads of snakes on a plane. Remember the film?
And we could put lots of hunters in an area where they don't have guns and crossbows and they have to kill the animals themselves.
Trust me, that would probably appeal to a lot of hunters.
Or strangling a deer, I'm sure, would look very graceful.
So we'll all have different intelligence levels, different capabilities. So does that mean some of us are more deserving of life because we have differences?
But we all have life.
And so do animals. They have life too.
No, dude.
They have life too. They have life. Are they alive? Are they alive?
Yes, they are alive.
So they have life.
I think he should be allowed because his footballing career is separate from what he has done, possibly criminally, in his private life in his house.
But most crimes are committed in people's private lives, and so that shouldn't be a reason to allow people's professional careers to continue.
Many of them, you know, they don't see veganism as like, they don't want veganism because they...
What about you?
Veganism is very much a white colonized thought. It very much is.
Well, people say that, but then also people say that when you look at the roots of non-harming animals for diets, it's deep-rooted in places like Hindu cultures and Jainist cultures. And so the idea of abstaining from eating animals is very much deep-rooted in kind of like Buddhist, Hindu and Jainist cultures, and not necessarily in a white colonialist process, at least.
Yeah, and if they say I'm going to go hunt moose, the moose hears that and says, they are not worthy to have me.
Oh, okay.
They are not worthy to eat me, and so it hides.
Because they presumably don't want to be killed if they're going to be alerted to that. But the point that...
Yeah, can I shoot you?
Wait a second, are you worthy?
I think so. What do you mean worthy?
I don't know. Some girl was talking about being worthy enough to kill a moose.
Oh yeah, definitely bro. I am worthy.
You know what? It's fine dude. I'll take your word for it. Shoot me, bro.
Actually, when you look at the growth rates of veganism, in America, one of the biggest demographics in terms of adopting veganism are African Americans. And so to make the claim that it's a strictly white colonialist thing doesn't hold up, especially as white vegans aren't going to indigenous communities in Alaska and aren't trying to impose that on them. You know, I'm here in Dallas talking to people like yourself.
Humans first. We need to focus on getting these undocumented immigrants, one, that, making them welcome in this country, giving them fair pay, giving them fair rights, all of these things, making them not fear being deported, because then once you get their support, they'll be much more likely to help us in reducing the harming of animals. They'll be able to help us, say, to go on strike against these slaughter facilities. It's all about how you go about things. Yes.
We can do both at the same time, though, is the argument I'd make.
If you kill them in a humane way where they don't feel pain, in a halal way.
How do they kill animals halal?
They kill them without pain.
How describe the process?
I could not tell you specifically because I'm not Muslim.
But you can tell me that they die without pain, but you can't tell me how they're killed.
Yes, because I have Muslim friends and I ask them, I'm like, what does halal mean? They say basically they're killed in a very specific way where they, as less pain as possible.
Can I tell you how they're killed? They have their throats cut, but they're not rendered unconscious. So they're conscious and they have their throats cut.
Is that how they're killed in the halal way?
Yeah, kosher and halal, that's what it means.
But, okay, so, again,
Do you think that that sounds compassionate?
it's more compassionate than other ways of killing them.
It is, but is it more compassionate than not killing them?
They're gonna.
Dude.
Sure.
Any animal in the wild, do you then call them morally unjust?
Is it? Can you tell me what it says here on your birth certificate under date of birth?
Your Honor, I object. What does this have to do with anything?
Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe